Welcome to another podcast talking about cold cases. And tonight we're going to be talking about Carmen Van Huss. Carmen was born on October 9th of 73 in Indianapolis, Indiana. Although her parents divorced when she was young and she had been raised primarily by an aunt and uncle, Carmen remained close to her parents and younger brother Jimmy. Carmen attended Lawrence Central High School, and she struggled to keep up with her classes and would eventually drop out, earning her GED instead. Carmen's family remembered her as a beautiful and lovable young woman. Family members frequently add that Carmen never caused any trouble, loved animals so much that she had dreams of becoming a veterinarian as a kid, and who later found a passion for drawing. To this day, Carmen's brother, who was only 15 when his sister was killed, holds onto a portfolio that was put together by his sister, including intricate drawings and sketches of bodies, bold portraits of stylish women, and bright colors and contrasting themes. On the evening of March 22nd of 93, Carmen would visit her grandmother in the hospital with her father and younger brother, before driving them back to their home at 10:30 p.m. According to her father, he had asked Carmen to spend the night at their home because it was already so late in the evening and he worried about Carmen driving back to her North Side apartment alone. Carmen repeatedly declined, informing her father that she had to go home and wash her uniforms before she was scheduled to work at a shift waitressing at a local Pizza Hut the following day. According to the police, neighbors later reported that they had heard Carmen return to her apartment around 11 o'clock p.m. with an unidentified man, and further explained that they had heard the pair laughing and talking as they walked up to the building stairs. Further statements made by neighbors indicated to police that Carmen was attacked by this unidentified man in her apartment between 1 and 1:30 a.m. After hearing Carmen yell, "Get off me, get off me," before hearing silence and footsteps leaving the apartment at approximately 1:30 a.m. Unfortunately, no one would call the police after hearing this struggle. Instead, they sent a noise complaint to the apartment's office, who left a note on her door the next morning. That's crazy. On the afternoon of March 24th, Carmen's father received a call from the Pizza Hut where his daughter worked, informing him that his usually hardworking, trustworthy daughter had not shown up for her last two shifts. After making several attempts to call Carmen, he would make a trip to her apartment to make sure everything was all right. Instead, he found the noise complaint on the apartment's unlocked door and would eventually find Carmen, who had been essayed and stabbed several times, laying on the floor, partially clothed, just inside her apartment. According to the investigators, information gathered from the evidence found in her apartment, including the remnants of a fast food meal and bottles of beer, have led them to believe that Carmen knew her killer. It has been confirmed that Carmen's ex-boyfriends had been interviewed soon after her death. One of the men was found to have been out of the state at the time of her death, and both men were cleared by DNA testing. DNA testing was completed early in the case. However, this testing would lead to no information. It was quickly revealed that the crime lab had sent the wrong samples to be tested after results showed investigators that the samples belonged to Carmen, not their unidentified male suspect. In 2015, Detective Sergeant William Carter, who had previously shown an interest in Carmen's case, set up a GoFundMe to raise money to fund new DNA tests of evidence in her case. Although the fund's goal was to raise $996, this GoFundMe raised more than $1,200 in just over a day, giving the detective enough to pay for the DNA tests and add the remaining amount to the reward fund. After this, conflicting statements are made within the police department regarding the employment of Sergeant Carter, with rumors quickly that he had been pulled off of Carmen's case. Upon hearing that Sergeant Carter had been pulled off of Carmen's case, Carmen's family set up a petition to reinstate him, explaining in the petition that Sergeant Carter had been the most dedicated investigator in solving Carmen's case. After receiving over 500 signatures quickly and the widespread news coverage of this information, the police department held a press conference. Officials explained that the removal of Sergeant Carter was not a result of his fundraising efforts, but was instead due to the results found in a review of assignments and procedures. During the press conference, it was further explained that Sergeant Carter was not a cold case investigator and instead works in the nuisance and abatement unit and had been working on Carmen's case in his spare time for the past 2 years. In the end, Sergeant Carter would be reassigned to Carmen's case, and the funds raised for the new DNA test would unfortunately be returned to their donors. Regardless of the drama in 2023, police got a lead. Parabon, a company focused on studying DNA evidence, directed officials to a possible person of interest within close proximity to Carmen's old apartment. At the end of August of 2024, a case was filed against 52-year-old Dana Jermaine Shepherd. He was charged with 2 counts of murder and 1 count of R with deadly force against a woman named Carmen Van Huss. The Boone County Court also charged Shepherd with being a fugitive from out of state. If you have any additional information, please contact Crime Stoppers or Central Indiana Police Department, and that number is 317-262-TIPS, TIPS. I will also add that into the description as well as the sources for this case. Thank you again so much for listening to this case tonight, and please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.